Hey folks, my guest today is from Perth, Australia. He's someone who's been very passionate about fitness, health, and sports. He's trained several athletes across various sports like cricket, football, golf, rugby, and mixed martial arts. And he's also part of the Renault Sport Formula One team as a performance coach for Daniel Ricciardo. There's also an online fitness coach. We have Michael Italiano with us. It's good to see you, Michael. How's it in Australia?
Hey mate, good to see you too. Australia's really good. We're extremely fortunate here. You know, the COVID hasn't hit us too bad, and it's stabilised quite well. So currently, we're allowed to be in public with up to 20 people. So yeah, it's not as bad as some other places like America and Europe. So definitely grateful at the moment. And yeah, the weather's really nice here in Perth. We always get nice weather. So yeah, no complaints on my side.
That's great. So are you all set and ready to go for the season next month?
Yeah, all ready to go. So I actually leave tomorrow night back to the UK.
Oh, tomorrow.
So
okay.
yeah. And then 2-3 weeks we then have Austria. So yeah, ready to go. I'm excited.
Great, good. So we pretty much we've been waiting for 7 months. So yeah, I think we're all ready. So you've been in Formula One for I think 2 or 3 years. So how's your journey been in Formula One so far?
Quite interesting actually. I've obviously been with Red Bull and then moved across to Renault, and obviously going to be in a different team next year. So yeah, it's been eventful, but it's been a great experience so far for sure. Yeah.
Great. And so one thing about fitness is people often tend to underestimate or underrate fitness. So how important is fitness for F1 drivers and for their overall on-track performance as well?
Yeah, I think to answer the first part of your question, when you say people underrate, I think it's more because people don't really understand the racing itself. It's kind of hard to relate. When you talk about football or rugby, it's a bit easier to relate. You can get on a field and play a bit of soccer and football, and you can understand how hard it is and what's tough and what's not. But not everyone can just jump in a racing car and do a few laps. So yeah, to answer your second part of your question, they have to be extremely fit for sure. The car is producing quite a lot of G-force under braking around turns. So they're almost fighting the car and trying to control the car with their core, with their hips, and also with their shoulders as well when they're controlling the steering. So they have to be strong, they have to be fit, cardiovascular fit, and they also have to have very, very strong necks, because their necks cop a lot of the G-force when they're turning. Their calves actually have to be very strong. So when they brake on the pedal, they're very aggressive on the braking with their calves. So over 2 hours of racing, their calves cop quite a beating, especially over, I think Singapore is quite a hard braking circuit. So that's one that can tickle the calves.
Yeah, I think it's pretty difficult because drivers lose several kgs over a race distance. So I think fitness, gaining all that weight back, and the fitness, I think it has a very important part to play in Formula One. So drivers are very busy. They have many commitments like media and several and testing and everything. So how difficult is it for F1 drivers to maintain a fitness regime and try to stick to it?
Yeah, I mean, it's during pre-season, it's easy. Because we have 3 months to prepare. There's not much distractions. There's no real media commitments and no real team commitments that really go on until we start heading into Melbourne, the first race. But then during the season, you have your difficulties because some races are back to back. You're crossing time zones a lot, so you're jet lagged, you're fatigued. So during the season, it's a lot more about recovery, sleep, and just trying to be fresh for the next race. We do get some strong blocks to get some really good training in. So the August break is a really good portion of the year to get good training in. After Monza, we have a really good gap before Singapore to really get some good strong training in, because Singapore's a real tough circuit physically because it's so humid and hot. So yeah, there's a couple there, but yeah, people may have the perception that we train all the time, but when the season starts, when it's so busy, it's more about just optimizing health.
Yeah, yeah. So, but then, I mean, we would have been 7 or 8 races down by now, but unfortunately, we've not had any race because of the coronavirus pandemic. So,
Yep.
how has this affected your whole fitness program, and what have you been up to in the past few months?
Okay. Well, when you say affected, it's kind of benefited us, to be honest, because
Okay.
as I said regarding like preseason, we've almost treated it like a preseason, right? So
Yeah.
we've had a we've had a 10 week preseason
Yeah.
as such. So it hasn't really affected. It's kind of benefited us. And
Mm.
Daniel's in amazing condition. He's super
Wow.
fit. He's been breaking some PBs, which is really cool, exciting. So yeah, it's going to be cool coming into the first race. Like I assume every driver is going to be in top nick because they're in the same situation where they probably haven't had 8 weeks of undisturbed training. So I think you're going to see. I think everyone's saying, oh, they're going to have to get the cobwebs out, but I think after the practice sessions are out, I think everyone's going to be on. It's going to be exciting.
I think that's a very interesting point because we've been seeing this. We've been seeing a lot of this on the internet that people say that the drivers could be rusty and everything because the last race we had was 7 months ago. So how do you factor rust? Do you think it's going to be an important factor at all? The 7 months of off season.
Um, I don't think so. I don't think so at all. I think give them a couple. I reckon give them 10 laps, 10 to 20 laps, and I think they'll be on.
That's
These
what
guys.
that's what Carlos Sainz said as well.
Oh, there you go. There you go. I think these guys have got the feel. They've got the knack in these cars. They've been in these cars enough.
Definitely.
Well, I talk for Daniel. He's in his, geez, I think, how long's he been racing now? 9 years, I think. Correct me if I'm wrong.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
like it's going to come natural. I think once he's in the car and he starts finding his rhythm, I think after 20 laps, he's more than ready to go for sure.
Great. And so, but you said that you do have a bit of a break during the August summer break, but then this year we won't be having any summer break at all. So, how do you think this season is going to be? How challenging is this season going to be? Because we have around 15 races crammed into 5 months.
Yeah, good question. Obviously, it's something different from my perspective to adapt and approach. So it is going to be a different approach. That is a very good question. So going 15 straight, whether that happens or not, I'm not sure. Obviously, the first 8 have been released. So we can only really prepare for what is confirmed. So we are preparing for the 8. If there's another 8, then then there's probably going to be even more recovery methods in place and prior to the seasons before, if that says anything. But regarding training, because we've trained so much, I think being able to maintain it will be easier this year for sure.
Great. So do performance coaches also get involved in the mental aspect of the sport, and how do you support Daniel's mental agility through a season?
That's a good one. So we do work on the psychological aspect of racing. I think there's a massive play in the psychological aspect of racing. You're in this car by yourself. Yes, you have your race engineer talking to you, but a lot of it is you, obviously, how you adapt to certain situations, how you prepare for an attack, how are you adapting to it, to defending it, how do you control your pressure? So there are certain elements that me and Daniel talk about. I won't go into too much detail because obviously that's our little advantage.
Secret.
You always have your little thing, your little preparation tools. I'm sure each coach has their own little preparation tools. One thing I will share though is every race I give Daniel a specific goal, and it's always different to each race. And what we'll do is I'll grab 2 blank A4 piece of papers. I'll write myself a quote, an inspirational quote, and I'll stick it up on the wall in our motorhome room, so in our preparation room. And then I'll give him the pen, and then he gets his chance to express himself on what he wants to put out for the race weekend. So we always have two different motivational quotes that stick to the
Oh,
theme of the goal that we're trying to achieve. And it stays on the wall. So we see it every day. We see it every time we go out for P1, P2 qualifying race. And it's like, that's our motivation for that race. And that works really well. And that's something that will stay. And I really enjoy it. And we obviously believe in it. Like, you have to believe in it. If you don't believe in it,
definitely.
there's no point doing it. So we believe in it. We're fully on board. I'm a massive quotes man. If you look at my social media, I got quotes everywhere. I love it. It gets your mindset going. So it definitely depends on the personality, but yeah, we're all for it.
This is a very interesting point because we've never seen this side of you and Daniel on the Drive to Survive videos and everything. So this is a very interesting point, which I think a lot of people will be quite fascinated to know about. So every year the car regulations, the technical regulations, and the physical demands they vary on a year-to-year basis. But does that affect your fitness programs as well with Daniel?
Yeah, another really good question. Yeah, so I guess as the dynamics of the sport and the innovation starts to every year, it tends to develop and set new standards, and that kind of makes the car quicker. It makes it sharper around corners. It's the balance of the car is really good, and every year you seem to be going quicker and quicker. And Daniel always pops out of the car and goes, "Man, I remember going, 125 around this track, and now we're going 118, like 7 seconds quicker."
Wow.
Like, so like it's quite cool to hear it, but then it's also like, yes, so the quicker they're going, the more G-force they're experiencing, right?
Yeah.
So yes, these guys do have to be every year probably need to hit not only their fitness markers from last year, but be bettering them as well. Definitely.
Right. So what's your routine like during a normal race weekend?
Okay, so usually we'd get in to a race Tuesday. Usually Tuesday, Wednesday we'd get in, and usually the Wednesday is mostly marketing stuff and media stuff. Daniel gets that out the way, and Wednesday's really chilled. We might do a mobility session because you're on a flight, so you stiffen up a bit. You don't feel too well. You're a bit lethargic, so we'll get on the vitamin C, on the zinc, get some hydrolyte in us. Just take care of the body, because if you're feeling 60, 70, 80% for a race, that's a big difference in Formula One. You need to be feeling 100%. So if we need to prepare. I need to prepare him to perform. So part of preparing him is making sure he feels 100%. So a lot of sleep on the Tuesday night and Wednesday night, trying to adapt to the time zone. A lot of mobility stuff, just making him feel really good, opening up the body, because you might feel a bit stiff from the flight. I always feel stiff after a flight, so we do it together. Thursday is very chilled on the track. Again, more media stuff. We might do like a light cycle in the morning just to flush the legs out from the flight post 24 hours. And then usually Friday and Saturdays big ones at the track. We're usually there from 12 to 14 hours. They're big days. So there's no training on our side. It's all preparation for P1, P2 on Friday, and then P3 and qualifying on the Saturday. Friday and Saturday we focus on sleep, because he's at the track usually quite late and it's a big day. He's quite mentally exhausted as well as physically, probably a little bit sore and drained. So Friday, Saturday is just prioritizing sleep, making sure he gets sleep. And I make sure that I guess what I focus on when he's always on the go on the Friday, Saturday, I just focus on making sure that everything's done easy for him. So, I'll prepare his meals. I'll make sure his lunch is ready. I'll make sure that the dinner's ready to go. Like, just keep everything easy for him. That way he can kind of go to bed a little less stressed and ready to rock and roll come Sunday.
So it seems like a very close and very personal relationship that you share with Daniel. And I believe that the both of you are friends and you go back a long way. So how is this whole big thing about Formula One? How did it come about?
Yeah, so me and Daniel, I think we met when we were like 12 years old. I think we met through mutual friends, and we stayed in touch. Daniel left Perth very early. I think he left. I think he may have left at like 15. think he went to Italy to start his racing journey.
Yep.
So we'd stay in touch. I'm going to say twice a year we'd stay in touch, and then when
Oh,
he
wow.
comes back in, when he'd come back in December, we'd all catch up. All us friends would catch up, and sometimes we'd go for the odd run or training together because I was into training at the time. I was playing sport, and we kind of just developed this relationship, but also this, I guess, yeah, like I was almost like his little fitness buddy as such. And then, come end of 2017, he offered me a position to train him. So that was very fortunate. Came out of nowhere. I didn't expect it, and obviously I've accepted. And yeah, third season with him, so still quite fresh, but it feels long enough. Like being in the sport now, it's gone quick, but it's been really, really cool. It's definitely an eye opener for sure.
I've also seen that you and Danny and Marcus Stoinis, we see a lot of friendly banter going on between all three of you on Instagram and all the social media channels. So what is it like training with an F1 driver and a cricketer? And how different are the regimes?
I guess they're two completely different sports. So Marcus would have a completely different regime to us, but yeah, Marcus is a close friend of Daniel's, and I've been fortunate enough to spend some time with him since being with Daniel. And becoming friends with Marcus has been great. He's a very good competitor. He also has a ruthless mindset, which I really like. So we get along like that. And yeah, sometimes when me and Daniel are training, he'll join in. He loves training. He loves trying to better himself from a performance point of view. So I'm all for him training with us. If anything, it gives us a bit of more of a competitive edge. You know, Daniel's got someone to compare himself with. So I do see Marcus getting the best out of Daniel when he does train with us, because, you know, Daniel wants to prove a point. Marcus wants to prove a point, and I'm all for that. That's friendly competition. So I always invite Marcus with open arms if he wants to train with us. Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, I recently saw a video of the three of you where you're doing some sort of reaction training. You do shoulders, hips, and then you grab the ball. That is pretty fun to watch. I think Danny had a little bit of an edge over Marcus over there.
Yeah. We did a number of exercises, and Daniel has done them before, so he had a bit of a slight advantage. But yes, I would. You'd assume that Daniel would have better reactions, but I tell you what, being a cricketer, you need just as good reactions when you're facing a fast bowler.
Yeah.
Also in the outfield as well. I also had high expectations of Marcus, and he was really good. There was some. I know there was only one exercise that we showed that Daniel got the edge over him, but some of the other exercises, Marcus really shined.
Great. So this is for the younger generation, because we get these type of questions a lot on forums and everything. So how does one become a performance coach in Formula One?
Yeah. Look, I don't really think there's a specific path as such to becoming a performance coach. I get this question asked to me a lot. I reckon I get this question asked about 10 times a day that I get sent to me. How do I become a performance coach? How do I become a performance coach? Look, my suggestion would be, fine, if that's your passion, you want to become a performance coach, study hard in your sports science field that you obviously have a strong passion for. And then there's particular companies out there that specialize in motorsports performance that you can reach out to, and kind of, I guess that's your path right there. But also, I say that, but then my path just came completely random as such. So with a bit of good fortune as well. So I'd say study hard, make sure you're completely passionate about it, because you are on the road a lot. So you're pretty much living out of a suitcase. Like, yes, I know it looks like an amazing life, and it is. However, it's not for everyone, I promise. It is tough. And so you need to be passionate about it before you get into it, or else it'll probably get to you.
So you've also just started your own online coaching platform. So many congratulations for that. So do you want to tell us a bit about that? How's that going?
Yeah, so it's an online fitness platform. So it's kind of separate to the Formula One world. I kind of wanted to, obviously I was training other clients prior to Daniel. as a coach,
Mm-hmm.
and I kind of miss that aspect to it. So I've developed an online platform where I can produce programs, really good content. People can follow them. I've got nutrition stuff coming very soon. I got a ton of stuff that's coming to this website, which I'm really excited about. And it's just about, I guess, sharing my knowledge with everyone, because, you know, I only have one client as such, and there's only, you know, so I think if I can help others by, you know, using this platform, and developing it, implementing it well, then I think it's a bit of a no-brainer for me. And it's been amazing so far. I've had amazing feedback. I've had a lot of people enjoying the programs, and that's all just part of the job. Like, that's what I love the most about the job, is that it's so rewarding. And that's really the whole point of it, is just to help others.
Great. So for all the fitness freaks out there who want to get trained by the best and also probably experience what the Shui master Daniel Ricciardo trains like, you should probably head over to Michael Italiano on Instagram or www.michaelitaliano.com. And so that was a very interesting chat. Thanks a lot, Michael. We appreciate your time. Thanks for doing this.
You're welcome.
And all the best for the season. And we hope to see you in the paddock someday.
Yeah, and I hope I see a Daniel Ricciardo frame in your background next time as well.
Yeah, sure. Hopefully the next time. Great. Thanks a lot, Michael. See you.
No,
bye.
Thank you. Bye.
Bye-bye.